My 27 male marriage is in a really bad spot after a deep breach of trust. I don't know how to recover or how to trust my wife, 30 female again. We've been together 7 years, married for 5 with a 2-year-old son. We met at a convention where I was blown away by her cosplay. That's nice. I struck up a conversation and the rest is history. She's the most loving, unselfish, and decent person I've ever met. Or at least I thought she was. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Draft Cassette, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, NOP says, our relationship was never without challenges, but our biggest obstacle was always her family. My presence was unwelcome from day one. They're incredibly close-knit, operating like a pack, where if one member doesn't accept you, you're shut out entirely. There are a few family members who broke away from this toxic dynamic, but they're treated as black sheep, completely cut off and barely acknowledged. I didn't fully understand the extent of her family's control, but I knew family meant everything to my wife. Her entire upbringing centered around family loyalty above all else. So I tried everything in my power to make it work with them, bending over backward to gain their acceptance. They barely tolerated me until our son was born. Between our wedding planning and shortly before the ceremony, I became the target of relentless, vicious cyberbullying. Yeah. It was deeply personal and coordinated. Fake negative reviews flooded my business profile, costing me potential clients and threatening my livelihood. I had no idea where it was coming from or why someone would target me so systematically. Every time I reported accounts, it would take forever for anything to be done, and then a new account would pop up for another round of attack. The whole nightmare impacted every aspect of my life and destroyed my mental health. My wife was incredibly supportive throughout this ordeal. She became my rock, my anchor in the storm. She held me when I broke down, encouraged me when I wanted to give up, and reminded me of my worth when the attacks made me question everything about myself. I loved her even more for how she stood by me during the darkest period of my life. Then, as suddenly as it began, the trolling stopped. I wanted nothing more than to move on and put it all behind me. For years, I thought I had. Until the other day when my wife confessed that her family was behind the entire pesterment campaign. I didn't believe her at first. It seemed too cruel, too calculated. But she was serious and showed me proof in their family group chat. Reading those messages felt like being transported right back to that dark time. They were gloating about their success, justifying their actions with comments like, some people gotta learn the hard way. Gotta learn what? And if he wants to join the fold, here's his initiation. So they're hazing you. That's crazy. I knew I wasn't their favorite person, but I never realized they hated me enough to orchestrate such a systematic campaign of destruction. The casual cruelty in their messages was breathtaking. I asked my wife when she found out and whether she participated. She swore she wasn't involved and would never do that to me. According to her, she didn't initially know her family was behind it until a few months